Solana and SUI Airdrop updates. SUI breaking $4, Solana approaching $200. Is altcoin season finally upon us, with Bitcoin dominance continually dropping week after week? Let's get started. Starting with Meteora, Season 1 snapshot has been taken on June 30th, and Season 2 has already begun on July 1st. The Season 1 points have been earned from DLMM and DAMM version 1, whereas DAMM version 2 has been added to Season 2 points. Most importantly, as you remember, they've increased the airdrop from 10% to 15%, and there will be 8% distributed towards points accrued in 2024, whereas 5% is distributed across points earned in 2025. And additional 2% of MET will be distributed based on criteria towards retail users who qualify through varying different criteria. Now, this Season 2 is going to be very specific and interesting because they are proposing to maybe transition into a fully fee-funded model, meaning that there will be no points generated from just TVL, which should actively participate more people, meaning that if you actually engage and rebalance much more often, you'll be getting a much more sizable airdrop. For Season 1, you would get 1,000 points for each dollar in fee generated, and also 1,000 points for each $1,000 in liquidity. So it was always much more beneficial to generate a lot of fees, but if this passes for Season 2, it's going to be even more important. So if this proposal passes, it is going to be very, very good news for everyone farming Meteora, because that means that whales are getting indirectly excluded from the airdrop, considering that the whole point of just depositing millions in the protocol and farming airdrop for points is going to be nullified. This is going to be much more directed towards community and people who are actually learning and managing their farms actively to generate the biggest amount of airdrop for the most amount of people. This is, of course, theory. Meteora also has amazing support structure in educations. Their Met Army has one of the best education programs I've seen out there that are free. Of course, there are many better ones that cost, but when it comes to just time investment, this is probably one of the best things you can do to actually learn yield farming. Because at the end of the day, you're going to pay with time or money anyway. So it just depends what you have more of at any given moment. And another quick update for Meteora is that there's a game coming through their platform very soon called Addicted, but this is something that we will have more updates for you later. All right, another Sol project, and this one is very, very time sensitive. On July 22nd, 1800 UTC, you'll be able to participate in the presale, assuming you were an early DeFi Tuna user. You'll be able to purchase up to $10,000 worth of Tuna tokens using Sol, and the same will be for public allocations, should there be any. There will be a phase lasting for 1 hour until the allocated supply is sold, and the best part is you will be able to actually withdraw all your tokens as soon as TG happens on July 30th, 1800 UTC. Of course, nothing of this is financial advice, and you have to decide for yourself if you're going to participate. However, the numbers do look a bit promising because 5% of the supply is going at the price of 5 cents each, meaning that if all tokens are unlocked at the beginning of token generation event, you would have a valuation of 50 million. However, since not all token supply will be directly on the market from the start, there is going to be a 12-month vesting period for a total of 85% of all supply. That is actually very bullish because it means that only 1/6 of this 50 million needs to be unlocked and on the market to actually make it worthwhile. So that means that about $8 million valuation is going to be this value of a token. If you believe it's going to go above 8 million, then maybe it is actually worthwhile to participate. Again, not financial advice, but some metrics are very, very promising. Next, we have two updates from the claiming and announcement perspective. We have BTCSoul, which is basically a platform letting you stake SOL and earn BTC yield. If you've been a Zeus Node Guardian delegator, if you've been an Apollo early testnet user or Apollo user, you'll be able to claim some SOL BTC. However, even if you just have a Solana wallet, you're also eligible for a tiny amount of Bitcoin, but exposing your wallet for a couple dollars to a smart contract risk is not something I would necessarily recommend. Another update is for the checker, and as you know, Pump Fun Airdrop is coming very soon, and there are a couple unofficial checkers flying around on Dune. So if you want to see how you score and maybe prepare yourself for an airdrop, you can check some of these links. As always, all the links of everything we always talk about are always in the first link of the description of every video. And the last Solana update is coming from Hilo. They were a Solana hackathon winner, and they're offering a suite of products starting with a leveraged SOL exposure, at the moment only 2x, but you can also earn a decent double-digit stablecoin yield just by minting their native stablecoin. So you have an option to either go 2x long without a risk of liquidation, they say, as well as earn 20% on your staked ST Hilo stablecoin. So of course, if you change, you can also just store your value on chain, but if you're already going to take on the smart contract risk of a new platform, you may as well stake it for a yield that is dangerously similar to what UST used to have. Anyway, all things aside, they also have, of course, a points program, and you're able to currently be one of the first users since it's season 0. And at the moment, there seems to be only about 5,000 users. So this is super risky and super scary. However, if you want to take a little bit of a risk capital and throw it here, you may choose to do so. You will need to have an invite link, of course. They have a season 0 private beta. However, we will provide the code in our Discord for the first couple of days, and then maybe also in the YouTube comments after that.
Hey guys, we partner with What Exchange, one of the greatest decentralized exchange right now in the market. I love that you can see everything on your screen at once. You can connect to What Exchange from different mainnets, and you can see here the list of hundreds of tokens. They are continuously adding more tokens each week. And What Exchange has an active airdrop. They are going to distribute 30% of the total supply, guys, into this airdrop. So that is why I am super bullish trading here too. You can see here the point section that they added recently, so you can check everything about your progress on this airdrop. And in trading, you can see how many order tokens you earn because they have this payback system from the fees that you pay. Part of that goes back to you on order tokens. So check the link on the description to join to What Exchange, trade on the platform, participate on the airdrop of the 30% of the supply, and also get some order tokens back. All the links are in the description.
And speaking of Discord, crypto moves very, very fast, especially in these explosive upward movements. And if you want to be in the heat of the moment and just capturing everything, you need to be in around people who are living and breathing this industry. One such place is our Discord, where we talk about all the best opportunities, airdrops, DeFi, farms, you name it, in real time across many different channels. One such you can see with Black Hole, where you will be able to get triple-digit APRs on some very, very stable and secure pairs. Also, Santiago is finding some exciting new opportunities all the time. For example, we've had an arbitrage opportunity on Eclipse just a couple days ago. But again, how would you ever catch this if you're just watching YouTube videos? It's impossible. So of course, that has a price. It is a very small price, but however, it is how anyone views it. If you wish to join, all I'm saying is you can check that out on the official website, where you will see the monthly, yearly plans, as well as an airdrop tracking application to keep you organized on your journey. Of course, if you just want a hands-free approach and you don't want to mess around with yield farming or airdrops, there is a way to do that, and we have an NFT collection that you don't need to be a part of Discord to participate in, and it's generating you between 3 to 10% in passive income every single month. But we are expecting, with markets shifting upwards, that this is going to be 10% every single month again. So if you wish to know more about this NFT collection, feel free to join the free Telegram group, where we answer all your questions and discuss these topics in detail. Now, two quick SUI updates. We have news from ICA Airdrop. There's some very promising stats. The distribution seems to be very, very fairly distributed, considering that less than 50 ICA tokens were distributed to the most amount of people. As for the Potato Finance, they are a DeFi DApp on SUI and an aggregator, and they're positioning to be one of the smoothest UI experiences that you can have on SUI. But most importantly, if you managed to secure the NFT mint for their land that was only between 6 to 9 SUI, you're sitting in very, very nice multiples. The floor is currently 20 SUI for the lowest tier land. If you manage to mint one of the higher tiers, you're up 5 or 10x already. And the reason why they're doing so well is because the yield from this land you can actually sell on the SUI marketplaces. And before we wrap up, quick macro overview. We have BTC dominance dropping in just 1 week from 64% all the way to low 60s, and ETH BTC chart seems to be super breaking out at these moments. Does that mean that alt season is truly upon us? We will know in the next couple of weeks of development, but this is looking very bullish for alt season and altcoins. And finally, on a more fun side of things, there is a reason to open MetaMask for the first time in 2 years, and that is because they've actually added a new functionality allowing you to check for your unclaimed airdrops directly in the wallet itself. And that is a wrap for all the Solana, SUI, and macro updates for today. If you like the content, make sure to like and subscribe with bell notifications on. Any questions, comments, I'm waiting for you in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching and have an amazing day.